Hello and welcome to graphic.com.gh from the Graphic Online TV newsroom. This is a brief. Minority members of parliament today staged a protest in parliament opposing Speaker Alban Bagbin's decision to suspend 4 lawmakers. The MPs, dressed in red and black, sang patriotic songs and party anthems as they marched through parliament. The suspension, which took effect on January 31st, followed a heated confrontation during the ministerial vetting process at the appointment committee on January 30th. The affected MPs, Roxanne Nelson Dafamako, Frank Anodompe, Alhassan Tampoli, and Jerry Ahmed Saib. The minority has rejected the decision, describing it as unilateral and unfair. Meanwhile, on the floor of Parliament today, the Speaker has lifted the suspension on the 4 MPs.
Mr. Speaker, we have become aware of the consequences of orders you have issued as a result of the formal communication you have given. We cannot take your power to discipline from you. But we believe that when this is tempered with assurance that the way forward will be better. Today, I, on behalf of my caucus, would want to assure the public that such an action will not be seen in the public space again. I will therefore conclude by inviting you, Mr. Speaker, to, in the circumstance and with assurances given, to consider a rescission of the decision you communicated to the House, as well as all consequential matters thereto. Mr. Speaker, without more, I shall thank you for hearing me and resume my seat. Thank you very much.
I agree that your decision to suspend some colleagues was timely, and I believe that it has been understood by the generality of Ghanaians as a step that restored the image of this parliament. The conduct was on both sides, and I also, on behalf of my side, appeal to you to reconsider your decision and lift the suspensions so that our colleagues can join us, whilst the other measures that you are putting in place so that long term we can ensure the orderly conduct of business in this House is achieved. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Listened to the apology, and here it was repeated by the minority leader for and on behalf of the members of the caucus, and supported by the majority leader. It's not only words. Before me, they demonstrated and assured me of their total support to me and the deputy speakers to ensure that we have an efficient and an effective functioning parliament in Ghana. So I am satisfied with not just the statement, but also their conduct. And I will proceed to lift the suspension of the 4 members of Parliament that I considered were involved in disorderly conduct which amounted to contempt.
Former Labour Minister Ignatius Baffour-Awuah has been granted bail in the sum of 500,000 Ghana cedis following his arrest in the connection with the alleged murder of a Kotoko fan. Baffour-Awuah, alongside with 2 other suspects, was arrested after violent disturbances erupted during the league match between Nswaterman FC and Kumasi Asante Kotoko. Appearing before the Sunyani District Magistrates Court B, Baffour-Awuah was charged with abetment to commit crime to wit murder, contrary to the Criminal Offences Act 1960. Ajimandia Owusu, another suspect, has been remanded in police custody, while a 3rd accused, Joseph, was also granted bail. Presiding Judge Eric Dannen ruled that Baffour-Awuah must surrender his passport to the court registry for the next 14 days and cannot leave the Sunyani municipality without court approval. The case has been adjourned to February 17, 2025. And now to education. The government has announced plans to phase out teacher trainee allowances in favor of an enhanced student loan scheme. Education Minister Haruna Idrisu says the government intends to gradually transition away from the allowance system, where students are expected to cater for their own feeding and personal expenses. The minister made these remarks during a meeting with the leadership of the Conference of Principals of Colleges of Education in Accra. According to him, the new scheme will initially run alongside the allowances, allowing students to choose between the 2 options before a full transition is made. This policy shift is expected to bring Ghana in line with other tertiary institutions, where students rely on loans instead of direct allowances.
You raised the issue of student allowances. It will continue. Subsequent to the Education Forum, for which I have the pleasure to invite you to come, we'll take some major decisions based on the recommendations. But off-head, there is no way you should be feeding a student at the tertiary level off-head. So we have to work out a transition from the allowance into an enhanced student loan for them to feed themselves. But in the interim, they will still get the allowances. Then just the next very few months going forward, subject to the recommendations of the committee. But I cannot conceive of a student in a higher education institution being fed. We can narrow feeding to basic and to free senior high school, but at the tertiary level, so they will still get enhanced student loans to be able to feed themselves. But in the interim, we will continue with the feeding and then phase out the allowance process, subject to the recommendations of the Education Forum.
Melchizedek Adio Baffour-Awuah, the youngest undergraduate at KNUST, has been given a rare private jet experience by businessman Ibrahim Mahama. Melchizedek, who was studying BSc Physics at KNUST, caught Mahama's attention with his exceptional academic record, scoring 5 A1s and 3 Bs in WASSCE at just 13 years old. Mahama, impressed by his achievements, invited him for an exclusive flight experience where he was given insight into aviation and even had the chance to enter cockpit. Beyond the experience, Mahama has pledged to sponsor Melchizedek's tuition and academic expenses at KNUST, ensuring he has the financial support to reach his full potential. Melchizedek's parents have expressed their deep gratitude for this life-changing gesture. And finally, the National Identification Authority (NIA) has introduced new fees for Ghana Card service at premium registration centers. According to a notice from the NIA, first-time registration and record updates at premium centers will now cost 310 Ghana cedis. Card replacement will be charged at 420 Ghana cedis, while simultaneous record updates and card replacement will cost 355 Ghana cedis. Nationality updates will also come at a fee of 365 Ghana cedis. The NIA clarified that this fee apply only at designated registration centers, with first-time Ghana card issuance remaining free at district offices. Thank you for watching. Kindly follow us on our website graphic.com.gh and follow us on all social media handles: Graphic Online Ghana on TikTok, Daily Graphic Ghana on Facebook and Instagram, Graphic GH on YouTube and X. My name is Ibrahim Mahama.